Hello again, Internet. This is the second official Christopher Jewell Design Webflow tutorial, and I am CJ. Today, let's take a look at essentially just basic page load animations, and I'm positive that Webflow U has plenty of really great videos on this. But if you happen to come across this one instead, this is just one little quick method and explanation for how it works. So we'll keep this quick, and as always, if there's more questions or any unique issues that you're having, please feel free to comment or send me a message. However, you can contact me. My website is somewhere. If you look for it, you can find it, and let's get in touch. But this will just be really quick. I'm just kind of showing the basics of it. So I've got just like a relatively simple product section. Some of this stuff is being filled with collection list CMS items, but again, just a really basic page, and there's lots of them that are very similar. And this is what I'm just doing to keep it subtle, but improve, what the load looks like. So if we were to load this page, that's all it is right now. Even on preview, it's the same thing on publish site, but we can open that up too so we can look at it later. But yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look. So I like to break it down by elements usually for the main landing area above the fold. And then for these elements that are below the fold, I really get super subtle with it. But the main thing is the page load, so having it kind of like build itself is fun. And then you don't want to be too distracting once they're into it with the content. So I'll just show you exactly what I'm going to do here. So in my hero section, which I have selected, there's only, a couple elements inside of this hero here, just the heading container. So I'm going to take the whole section, scroll into view. So there's, I'll slow it down actually. So there's a few options here just for element triggers. And although this is a page load function, we are doing it based on an element trigger. So that's kind of, if that's confusing, hopefully it's not, but we're doing it per element and not for the whole page load. So what we want to do here is just on this element, scroll into view, and automatically when it's loaded, obviously, it will be in view. So that means we can start a custom animation, and we're going to skip the custom animation, even though I just said that, but we are going to use one of these transition effects essentially. So the one that I like to use, generally speaking, is just slide, throw it up from the bottom with a 0% offset and a 0% delay. I'll get into that in a sec. And so we'll just leave it. So you can see that's how that works right now. But we want an additional one. So I'm going to just take my heading, same thing, scroll into view, slide from left this time. And I find that I work in kind of like quarter seconds, so to speak. So I use 250 a lot, 500, 750. But just 250 for the top is fine. Let's take a look again. So we can see how that is now loading a little more fun. And then let's get the rest of the page to build itself. So once that has loaded, we're going to delay this with another slide from the bottom, and this time put it at 750. And then for this paragraph below it, same exact thing. When it's scrolled into view, slide up from bottom, and this time we're going to set it at 1,000 millisecond delay. So we can preview this page one more time. Wow, that got really slow. Let's try that again. Give it a sec here as everything decides to be slow on me. Quick pause to speed it up. Okay, hopefully we're running smooth. It seems that my internet's getting a little choppy on me. Come on now. And it is a little bit laggy, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that. But you can see what's at least, supposed to be going on. And so then I've just got these two sections here. So let's take a look at something more specifically, and we'll talk about offsets, because delays are pretty obvious, right? You can see that it's delaying by a certain amount of time. So it's 1, the hero image comes up, 2, cigar cases, 3, and 4 with the text below. And then this is already above the fold. And so I'm going to set that differently because I don't want that to be moving around. But what I do want for all my collection items is this trigger is simply going to be scrolled into view on a fade, so it's really, really subtle. You can see that tiny little fade down there, or even if I open it up, really subtle little fade, so it doesn't do much, but we're going to offset it. And so what that means is you can offset, I think you can use pixels, yeah, exactly, but percentages are fine. So I keep it at a 20% offset for this in particular, because when you're viewing it, it needs to be 20% above the fold before that trigger is going to apply. So now it's invisible until it just hits 20%. Boom, just like that. And that's what we want to have. So that's the simple, just a quick little breakdown of what page animations are, and see how, again, not loading at the bottom until I touch it. Boom, there it is. So that's all we want, just a simple little thing to make it a little bit shinier. Clients love it. I think sites without it seem stale a little bit once you kind of, are aware of this stuff and pay attention to it. Yeah, and then for mobile, it should be really, really similar what's going on in here. So we can page load that again. Very similar stuff happening, and we should be all happy. The design of this page could use a little improvement. A lot of improvement, actually. Goodness gracious. But I am happy with how it's loading right now, at least on the page load side of things. One more time. Bing, 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 and bing. So just in summary, I suppose, when you're working with page load animations, although yes, it is a page animation and it's being triggered by the page, it's broken into individual elements. So that means that we have to use element triggers. It's going to be scrolled into view. While scrolling in view is other options you can play with, but it's better for like Lottie files and animations that is a little bit more advanced than what we're doing right now. And then you've got all these options. I do recommend playing around with them. These emphasis ones I would stick away from. Generally, they're really like, I'll just pick one here so you can see it. Like it's just too much unless you're, that was just over the top. So we don't need this. Delete that. But feel free to play around with them. And then honestly, a lot of the ones up top here can be really fun too. But spinning, flying, like I just don't think you need to get too crazy with it. There's plenty of opportunity in just these little simple movements and using simple movements in a cohesive way. And that's kind of what we're going for here, right? So hopefully this is helpful to somebody out there. And, I've mentioned it before, but if you need help with anything specific, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you for watching. This is CJ from Christopher Jewell Design. Until next time.